Hey guys, thought I'd pop in since I'm on my way to a doctor's appointment and traffic is ridiculous. So, to keep my blood pressure down, I'm gonna talk to you about the last cruise that I went on, and I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, and you can decide if you want to go on from there. I'm doing this because of the sun, okay? So, anyway. So, since my mom's birthday and my granddaughter's birthday is in mid-April, my daughter decided, hey mom, why don't we do a family cruise and we could celebrate both? So, hey, say no more. So last year, she looked up the cruises and she decided to go with Star of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, and we're gonna do a 7 nights out of Orlando. We were going to Coco Key, which I had no issues with because I haven't been to Coco Key since my son graduated high school in 2015, and I know it wasn't the same from before, so I was cool with that. And then we went to St. Thomas. Then we went to St. Martin. Hey, going to St. Martin, I have no issues because it is what it is. I love St. Martin. Anyway, so first thing that we did wrong, and honestly, I could have, whatever. But we didn't go as a group. We didn't book a group cruise. Unfortunately, my daughter booked a cruise for her, and she just told me which ship and which date, and for me to book the same. Had we pre-planned, sat down, talk about it, I could have booked the cruise since I was Emerald tier at the time, and I think she's platinum. But anyway, so this cruise, by the way, made me my tier is now diamond. So that's a mistake. So if you're going as a group, book as a group. I think you will save money. Definitely you will save money. And there's perks that comes with there's perks to book as a group. Anyway, so that was, so learn from us. If you're going as a group, book as a group, okay? So then we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful relaxing trip down up there, thanks to GoPort. Okay, so GoPort is this service that you booked. It's fly and sleep and cruise, or sleep and cruise, whatever. So basically, they'll pick you up from the airport. They'll take you to your hotel. You sleep the night. That's for people who are not as daring like me to book to go in the same day. Even though Orlando is 4 hours away from me, anything can happen. So what I did was I booked the Brightline for me and my mom, and I caught the Brightline up there, and then so GoPort picked us up and dropped us at the airport, and then the next day they actually picked us up from the hotel and took us to the port. That service, I'm going to do a separate video about it because 10 out of 10. I had no issues, nothing. So anyway, got to the port, Royal Caribbean, 100 out of 10, because going in, I don't think I spent more than 5 minutes. You know, my boarding pass was express. I don't know. Well, let me go back. How I booked my cruise was through Delta Cruises. Delta Cruises, I really had no issue. However, I'm being a cautious traveler that I am. I really want like, if something happened, I had no issues. Honestly, Delta Cruises I would do again, and I think I'm gonna book another cruise through Delta Cruises. I had no issues. It's just, so booking through Delta Cruises, the only thing that, you know, I bought the insurance through them. You know, I always buy travel insurance because you never know, especially when you're traveling with a 76-year-old. You never know what could happen, okay? So I cover myself in case something happens. There's a cop, girl. There's a cop coming. So in case something happens, I always book travel insurance. And because, anyway, but since I didn't book it directly through Royal this time, if something was to happen, I would have to contact Delta Cruises. And if anything happens, you know, on the cruise, or if some kind of payment or whatever, I would have to go through Delta Cruises. And that's the only part I did not like. I like to deal with the company directly. To me, I think it's more effective. But yeah, so if you ever oh, and the perks for booking with Delta Cruises, I have to tell you that every dollar that you spend, it's 2 to 1. So if you spend $2,000, you get 4,000 points. So that was a good perk for me because I have some flights coming and I'm gonna need those points. Haha. Anyway, so yeah, but again, coming back to Royal Caribbean at the port. Port Canaveral, I like Port Canaveral better than Miami and Fort Lauderdale. I'm sorry. You know, when I went to Seattle for the Alaskan cruise, it didn't bother me because I wasn't expecting anything. And when I went to Orlando, I wasn't expecting anything either because, you know, I'm a Miamian and we are very, very conceited. We think we have the best of everything down here. No. Orlando showed out, baby. That terminal is nice. It's well organized and there's no way you could make a mistake. And GoPort dropped us exactly in front of the door to go inside. GoPort took our suitcases and we went inside. Like I said, my boarding passes had Express on them. So we went to the Express line and then we went inside. They took our pictures and then that was it. All we had was our handbags in our hands and that was it. And I was on the 14th deck, balcony, and it cost a good bit, but hey, you know, if you're gonna go hard or go home. But I wanted to make sure that we enjoyed it. For the cruise, I booked Hooked seafood restaurant. I booked a brunch. It's Sip and Tour brunch, and I had the refresher. Package for the drinks, which, it was okay. I thought they got rid of the souvenir cups when I got there, because the lady was like, do you have a package? And I was like, yeah, I have the refresher package. And then she said, where's your cup? I said, I thought I saw on YouTube they got rid of that. She's like, no. So she told me where to go, and I went upstairs and I got my souvenir cup. And from there, it was, I was good. So then after that, let me say, Star of the Seas is, oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. Oh, she is a star. She is a star. I love the ship. What was the icing on the cake for me was customer service was top 10. Shout out to one of the people in the Windjammer. His name was Raj. First off, when you go in, the washy guy, he is awesome. He is awesome. He is so awesome. Okay, he's funny, he's cute, very friendly. I know people are like, oh, that's what they get paid to do, but no, some people, you can tell it just comes natural, okay? And the washy guy, the first day we got there, they had at the Windjammer, they had shrimp, lobster, you name it, they had it. I was like, okay. And that was a good welcoming lunch. And there was a guy there, like I said, the next day when we went to breakfast. His name is Raj, R-A-J. Shout out, because he was like, what would you like to drink? And I was like, no, we're not thinking about drinking yet, because we need to find a table, because we had just entered. And he was like, get your food, don't worry about it, I'm going to reserve a table for you. And he did. Me and Mom, we got our food, and then he was like, you ready? And then he took us to our seat, and then took our drink orders. And then so the customer service on Star of the Seas, honestly, I haven't had a bad experience on Royal Caribbean, but this one, it took it a little higher. Okay, it's like, yes, you paid a lot of money for this cruise. We know you paid a lot of money for this cruise, and we're gonna make sure you enjoy this cruise. And they actually did. So I had the balcony. The only thing I will say, as much as I love the cruise, if you're not one of these people who care about the staterooms, then you're not gonna care. However, I'm the type of person that likes space. I felt that my stateroom, I don't know if it's because of the stateroom that I booked. Like I said, it was a balcony on the 14th floor. So I expected my stateroom to be spacious, and it wasn't. It was actually small. The bathroom, me and my mom, because I had to show my mom how to turn on the shower, and the two of us couldn't fit in there. It's for one person. The bathroom is for one person. The room is made for one person, even though they say floor, because they had our bed in there, right? They had our bed in there, and a couch. To be honest with you, it wasn't as spacious as I'd want it to be. I've been driving around this whole time with the AC off. Nice. The food was great. Hooked was great. The brunch, the sip brunch, it was good because I've been letting this idiot pass and he hasn't passed. Now the light is gonna. I really hate people. You know that? Fucking. But anyway, yeah. No road rage here. And now he wants to come over. Anyway, so the brunch and sip was good. They take you down to the kitchen to have a tour. The tour, it wasn't that long, but the people were so nice. They showed you where they cooked and where they did everything, and then after that, they took you upstairs to the dining room to They took you upstairs to the dining room to for your brunch. For the brunch, you have either a choice of orange juice, champagne, or a mimosa. I had 3 mimosas. Okay, no shame in my game. And they were so sweet. They kept like, "Oh, you sure you're good? Are you?" And then on the menu, you have pasta. You have chicken, you have seafood, you have steak. It's it's a variety. So for my appetizer, I had the mushroom soup and I had the seafood linguine, and then I had ice cream for dessert. And then after that, I left. And yeah, so in Coco Cay, I rented the day bed, which was a good option. It was me, the kids, and my mom, and we had a good time. Played in the water, and had a good time. Even though I broke my toe, I'm not gonna lie to you, I broke my pinky toe on my right side because I was playing in the water with my grandson. And I stepped on a rock while I was, playing with him. And I thought if I put pressure on the rock would go in the sand. No, the rock bent my toe like this. So imagine this is my feet. This is my pinky. So when I did it, my toe went like that. Let me tell you. So, I don't know. So in the water, I put my foot on the other side of the rock, and then I put pressure on my toe, and so I pushed my toe back, and I actually felt the cracking. Oh, excuse me. But I'm in pain, and I'm actually, I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I'm actually going to see the doctor. Not about that. Thank God this was already scheduled, and so I'm gonna let him check it out. When I came back Sunday, I had scheduled Brightline to come back to Miami on Sunday. And so when I came back, the next day I went back to work. I wore sneakers Monday and Tuesday. And yes, so then it was irritated again, and then it was hurting me a lot. But I don't know. But overall, I would say the cruise is 10 out of 10. Go ahead and book yours. Royal Caribbean, Star of the Seas. It was totally worth it. It's not a cheap cruise. It's not, one of these cruises you're going to get for $500. But it is totally, totally worth it. And, you're gonna have a good time and you're gonna enjoy it. It's not something like, unless if you can afford it. Hey, I'm not balling like that. I am a cruiser on a budget, and yeah. So right now I also, what I did do on next cruise, I went to next cruise, and I actually booked two more cruises. One for this December. I am for New Year's. You know, like I told you last year, I had such a good time with the cruise that I went to for with celebrity, that I think I'm gonna try and do my best to make it like a yearly event. New Year's, be on the ship if permits, if finances and opportunities permit. Which this year I booked a cruise and we're going to San Diego. We're gonna leave out of San Diego. So I've never been to San Diego. I've never done the West Coast. I've done Alaska. Yeah, I flew to Seattle, and but I've never done California or nothing like that. So this is gonna be my first time going to California. Yeah. So we booked the one in December, and there's another one coming up next year that I'm gonna do Europe next year. I'm actually gonna do Europe. Whether my mom is gonna come with me or not, right now she's in the booking, but I don't know if health wise she'll be able to do it. From what I hear, it's not the easiest thing to do. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. This lady is ready to run the light because the guy before us stayed his behind there. Yes, so like I said, the cruise was a 10 out of 10. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys later. I'm about to pull into the parking garage and walk over to the doctor's appointment. And yeah, so Royal Caribbean, Star of the Seas, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. Loved everything about it. The only thing that wasn't a 10, but I'll overlook it because was the size of the room. But maybe I could have upgraded, but whatever. So I'm not even gonna hold that against them. Yeah. All right, talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Now to find a parking